It's happened again. It's happened again. The same fucking teams. It's happened again. In the search for a football news app, well, I've got you sorted, lad. This video has been kindly sponsored by OneFootball, your local neighborhood football app. For all the latest transfer news or any news happening with your football club, this is the app for you on iOS or Android for absolutely free. The link is at the top of the description. Live score updates, live lineups, live league table, live everything just for you. It's nice and easy to read, and it's even got dark mode, which I know how much you like dark mode. If this tickles your fancy, then I'll leave a link at top of the description just for you. Let me know down below if you downloaded it, and let's get straight into the video. Hello boys, welcome back to another video on the channel. Welcome to FIFA 22, but it's wait, let me just check my notes here. Not Varane Mendy, which is fucking good for once, actually. No, we're now upgraded in the world now, and we've got some new boys to join the party. Of course, as you're already well aware, we're FUT champions. People want the best players. People want the most meta players, and that means that people have very similar teams for the most part, because I guess that makes the most sense. Now, I must say here, I'm not complaining if you use these players. Feel free. I'm just doing a video of an experiment, just seeing who everyone uses and the most used players. That's really it. Now, in my humble opinion, would I like to see a game which is a lot more variety of players? Yes, but that's just because I just would like to see more variety of players. It's in the same way that you play Call of Duty and you see the same 2-3 guns being used because it's the most popular guns. That's the meta at a time, and that's just how it is. And I would like to use maybe a different gun. But of course, video games ain't that simple, and people want the best chance to win. So if you do use any of these players here, then don't have a go at me. I'm literally just showing you guys the stats here. And yes, there is a Google spreadsheet. The spreadsheets are back again, boys. So of course, we've all got our opinions about FUT champions and the way that it's ran. And tell me, I may do a video about FIFA 21 compared to FIFA 22. I may end up doing that. I may also end up doing a video about the fact that FUT champions, for good or for worse, is it a good thing FUT champions? And in my opinion, for 90% of the community, it is a good thing. All I've said in the last 2-3 years is to make FIFA much more open to a pure casual base, and that relies on two things. Either number one, the time spent in the game, and number two, how much money could be potentially put in the game to gain an advantage. Now, right now, FIFA is the most casual friendly it has ever been. Making a good team has never been so cheap for literally 99% of the player base, other than the top elite players. To still get the likes of Mbappe's is very hard to get, because he's still worth like 1.7 million. Comparing an Mbappe to the rest of like everyone else, it's so wildly different. But most casuals don't really care about an Mbappe. They care about just anyone else. And this is the easiest it's been to get good rewards, to play FUT champs and not put 18 hours of time worth into it, to not be too stressed really, as all you need to do is win 8 games and then you're fine, and most of the time you're being given a free win or two, because that's what people are doing now. The only competitive place I found really is division rivals, and that's when you make it to your level, which you probably won't get any higher unless you better your team. Division rivals is the most competitive place that you're facing people on your level right now, and which is weird, because I don't even think the rewards you get is even good in comparison to FUT champions, which you get a lot more bang for your buck. So before we get to the teams, and by the way, I did go into 2 different weekend leagues. I've got 2 different accounts, so one account, another account, 20 games each. I went onto Switch for every single game, and I counted up every single player that we faced, and there's some surprising ones here. Some players that you would expect to see and you just don't see. I guess I'm going to show you my team here, just because I feel like in a video about teams, I guess I might as well show mine so that you don't see that I'm a hypocrite. So this is my team, and I think the only player here that you could say is somewhat meta or common is potentially Theo Hernandez. I faced Dillit once in 40 games. I've faced Koulibaly 2 times in 40 games. Theo, I in fact did play 4 times in 40 games. I know that some people care about how original a team is, and I'll be honest, I kind of do. I like the idea that I've not got the same team as everyone else. I like that. Call me weird, but I like the fact that it's not the same team you face, and I think it's amazing. So let's get stuck in it. So with the entirety of the game, and I presume that you guys have played this game a lot, I want you to think right now, who do you think is the most common goalkeeper? Like, which is a common goalkeeper that you face most times in FIFA 22. Now, I did not expect this at all. So here we go. This is Goalkeepers, and Lloris is absolutely everywhere. I didn't actually notice how common he was, but out of 13 of the 40 games I faced him, and yeah, it's a bit I didn't expect that, really. I don't even think he's even good. He's purely there for chem, from the French to BPL links, and you're going to see why that's used so often. Defenders is where you get the most common players, because people just like a solid back line and they don't really want to change. They change their front line a lot, but really, in terms of defense, they really like to just keep the same defense and just not move it at all. And you see this a lot here. So in the defense here, it looks like this. So I have graded it in a certain way, so that if it's in green, for example, it got 6. If it's in black, it means it's 10 or more. If it's orange, that means that it's 8. And you'll see the same kind of idea here. So, and this is every single, there's some weird ones here. I play against Godfrey, I play against Inform Courtney House. Who's House? I think it's House. I played against him as well. Very weird options here. But yeah, of course, I played Kimpembe 14 times out of 40 and Kunde 13 times, which, you know what, now to be fair, this isn't that bad. This isn't actually that bad. This is actually relatively alright, because if you forgot, last year when we had the Varane and Mendy situation, it was like 25 times out of 30 that we faced Varane, Mendy or Gomez in the team. Like, without fail, you saw one at least of those 3 in every game. I think we went 27 games of Weekend League out of 30 that had at least one of them. Now that was bad. This isn't anywhere near as bad as it was last year. However, it is still October. It may get worse in November when people just kind of give up with like their Serie A team and just go for pure meta team. The likes of Alphonso Davies, Joe Gomez for 6 times. I only faced Van Dijk once, which I'm surprised of. Romero, the Spurs centre back, 5 times. More than what I would have thought I'd face him. Marquinhos was only 5 times. I thought that'd be more. Hakimi 8 times. Robertson only once. Not many good Prem left backs he was trusted with, really. Koulibaly only twice. That Koulibaly card was only used twice, man. Traore, the RTTK one, the Stade Rennais card, 6 times. Jordi Alba 6 times. And go down, Jesus Navas and Alaba. Alaba used more times than I thought he really would have been. That's a surprising one for me. And is there any shockers? Lacroix was only twice in 40 games. Militao only 3 times. Dest only 2 times. And you got the likes of like the lower ones, like Quadrado only once. Delit is it down there as well? Yeah, Delit only used once. That really surprises me. That. Let's go over to midfielders, and it looks like this. And honestly, midfielders is really even. All around the park is completely fine. So Barella twice, Sissoko 4 times. He came up a lot. I was surprised by that. That new Works card only twice. Pogba 5 times. That Bernardo Silva card only 4 times. And as you can see, if you scroll down, there's not many. Literally, there's not a single player that's more than 6 times out of 40 games. That's really good going, I believe. Bruno Fernandes 6 times. Kante 6 times. And Renato Sanchez 6 times. A couple of 5s with Foden, Wijnaldum, Pogba, Chouamani was used a lot. The red card or inform card. Players that I'm surprised to only see once is like Vidal. Vidal only used once. Like once, really? I'm surprised. But yeah, mids is pretty even right now. Like there's no obvious like leading player. I think Kante will slowly get more and more like teams with him in the longer that people can get more coins to afford it. And then onto attackers, and there's only 2 players that has got more than 10 times being used in people's teams. And you're not surprised. It is Fekir and it is Ousmane Dembele. Dembele 14 times. I'm kind of surprised. At first, there wasn't that many, but he just popped up in almost every team at one stage. Him and like the likes of De Jong. And then Fekir. I mean, Fekir is very meta right now, and you can see how often you face him. Any surprises here? Sadio Mane only once, and Werner only 7 times. I thought it'd be a lot more. Kingsley Coman was 8, which I found is a lot more than what I thought it would have been. Jesus 4 times, Depay 4 times, Gelson Martins 4 times for that Renato Sanchez link, and then Dybala. Only once. Only once did I face a Dybala, and Insigne. Serie A players just are not respected like at all. Isaac twice. Ben Yedder 8 times. Martial only once. Lukaku twice. And keeps going down. You can see Salah only used once. Haaland only used once. And have you not noticed? There's not a single Mbappe or Ronaldo. Out of 40 games a week in league, I did not face a single person with Mbappe or Ronaldo. And there's a reason for that, because they're worth like over 1 million coins. Ronaldo's worth like 1.1 mil, and Mbappe's worth like 1.7 mil. No one really has these coins to spend, because if you pack players on the market, usually they're not worth that much, because like the market is so screwed. And I guarantee for you that when you played Weekend League, you didn't really face Mbappe that often. Maybe like out of your 20 games, maybe 2 times, or maybe even 3 times. But unless you got really unlucky, you probably didn't face him that much. So you're going to pick Bruno Fernandes 40 times to afford Mbappe on the PlayStation market. On Xbox, it's about 30 times potentially. That is still ridiculous. Let's say another like very expensive player. Let's say something like a Mohamed Salah. Okay, he's hard to pack, but it's more packable, right? 300k. That means that you're going to pack Salah 4 times to be able to afford a Kylian Mbappe, which Salah is a very hard player to pack, obviously for obvious reasons. Let's say Varane as well. I mean, he is about this 240k. Again, gonna pack him 5 times, potentially 6 times to actually afford Mbappe. And you see, that's the issue, that you just aren't facing these players because no one can realistically afford them, because if they do get good pack luck, it has to be something ridiculous, otherwise they just won't be able to afford these cards. Speaking of big players, I do want to show you the icon count. So this is how many icon or hero cards I faced, and it's 1 each here. So by the way, I think like literally like 9 of these players were in the same team, like Jaiber, Cahill, Lundberg, Rickon, Collet, Puyol, Petit, Coleman, Keane. They were all in the exact same team, and I found it awesome. Di Natale, Cordoba, Pele, only once, Gomez. So these are all the heroes and icons, and there's not really that many. Tell me your thoughts right now. This is the FIFA community and how they're using players right now. And tell me, are you surprised? Are you not surprised? Kimpembe and Kunde will probably be the Varane and Mendy this year. I'm sure that the more times that people keep facing them, the more times that people be like, okay, screw this, I'm just going to use them. So I feel like the more we play, the more we're going to see the same sort of backlines once we hit November. So that's what it's looking at right now. Tell me your thoughts down below in the comments. I'll see you guys next time for another video, and peace out.